So I'm just sitting here thinking about my situation with my estranged kids that I estranged, by the way. But I see a lot of these estranged adult children asking their parents to jump through hoops for them, as if somehow being in their life is an Academy Award movie, when a lot of us estranged parents are kind of sitting back and starting to kind of analyze what exactly we want in their lives. Because some of y'all are living in a broken down VW bug in a 3-ring circus with absolutely no virtues, no morals. And I think a lot of us are kind of stepping back, puzzled as to why we got caught up in wanting to be in your lives.
To my estranged adult children who wonder what the discard looks like and what's going on behind the scenes in their brain. She didn't discard her children. Well, she did. She is now online, out loud, for them to see and notice more than one child, which is unusual. Usually estrangements, it's one child, maybe two if you have lots and lots of kids. At some point, I'm going to start to cover, what's her name, Kate plus 8, because that's a hell of a story, and talk about a narcissistic abuser. And so I think she's got a couple that are estranged from her that are in a relationship together. And then she's got the others who are heavily attached to her. You can see the enmeshment. Anyway, I'm going to cover that at some point. It's going to take some work because I really have to do the homework around that. All that to be said, her children, I went to the beginning of her platform, and she's one of these that I think she takes things down, puts things up, thought it was a good idea, then went, I don't really mean that today, or that's gonna, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not in her brain, nor would I want to be in her brain, because that seems like a lot of work to me. It also seems like a lot of venom to me. She literally, in my brain, and it kind of struck a chord to me a little bit emotionally, is basically saying that, why would I want you? Like, look how she's rejecting her children. Like, who would want to be around you? You're just like a beat up VW bug. You're a piece of shit, is what I'm hearing. What are you hearing? Tell me if you're digesting this the same way that I am. And I only watched this video once. I say this all the time, but that's what I normally do. I watch it once. Sometimes I don't even watch the whole thing. I screen record it. I save it for later, and here we are. So I'm a little bit, with her. Her children estranged from her. And the reason I know that is there's earlier content where she says something. There might be some screenshots that I have of certain things that show that they went no contact first. She didn't just one day go, get out of my life. And the jumping through hoops is really synonymous with boundaries, right? It's about the boundaries. It always seems to come back to the same thing. These parents don't want to be in adult relationships with their adult children. They want to be the same person that they always were in your growing up life, who is large and in charge, and you have no escape from. And so when the dynamic changes, it's intolerable to them to actually have to do better. They're entitled to be your parent. But apparently her children are not entitled to have a parent who loves them, who cares for them, and who thinks that they hung the moon. Like, that is heartbreaking for me to hear what she just did. That sounds a lot like my mother, actually. She's very heavily in my brain today. I've been doing some videos before this one. But wait, there's more. And she doesn't do a lot of videos, which... probably doing herself a favor. She does create a lot of static posts though. And well, as you can see, I've been playing them through, and I'll include some on the end as well. She is one of those estranged parents. I think she's been on and off. And I see that as a pattern. I see these estranged parents. Let me tell you the pattern that I see. I talk about the estrangement, talk about how heartbroken, talk about the hoops and the boundaries, blah, 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 blah. oh, I need a mental health break. And then they get their little estranged parent called cronies to go, oh, I hope you're okay. And they get the feed of attention from there. And it looks to me like the rhythm of that is when their engagement starts to wane off, then they do I'm feeling this and I'm the whole thing. They take a little break. They scrub a bit off their page and they come back in the brand new version of them that they are. Some of them lose their platforms because, they die on the hill of attack and things like that. And then they start over again and they start over again and they start over again. She's definitely one of those start over again people. And the reason that I know that is she had a much bigger platform before. So I'm kind of happy she's starting over again and has less supply to connect to. It's really, really interesting to me because the estranged parents, in a way, it's good that they have a club because they have built-in supply with one another. I just don't know how their tolerance is going to, continue to go and grow. I really don't. It's like they live on a different planet. And I don't want to dehumanize people. I'm talking about the estranged parents who behave like this. I'm not talking about emotionally immature parents who have the capacity to do better, who are in therapy instead of on TikTok causing further damage to their relationships. Oh, and there are some estranged parents who are on TikTok who have done better, who've repaired their relationships and end up scrubbing some of the videos where they were processing their feelings. And they talk about the repair and things like that. And that's proof in the pudding. There are estranged parents out there that you can follow that actually have repaired their relationships with their children. You can follow them. I think a lot of them, though, the ones that I've seen, and there's a couple that I have featured in the past, at least one for sure, they end up transitioning from talking about what worked to heal their estrangement to scrubbing that oftentimes and just moving forward with life because they're happy that they have their adult child in their life and they don't want to have content out there that might damage their relationship. Wow, self-imposed boundary on that one. Hoops. That's what they call boundaries. Hoops. Case in point, one example. Here you go. Here's a hoop. Here's a hoopster.
We are, after years of navigating this and jumping through hoops and doing everything, every breadcrumb that was dropped for us, we grabbed it and we did exactly as we were told. And what I learned, and what many have learned, is there will always be another hoop.
I'm not sure how listen to the video. Clearly she was in a stream of thought. And somewhere, I think something got lost in translation. This is a video that she also posted on the same day.
I also wanted to jump back on and talk about some of the things that other estranged parents and I have spoken on, and that is, we say this whole parental estrangement thing is a trend. And I completely agree. So
this whole estrangement thing is a trend and she completely agrees. So she joined the trend because by her own admission, which was a lie, evidence on her own page of that. I didn't assume anything here. It's a trend. So she's jumped on the trend and she became an estranged parent voluntarily because her children are like broken down, VW bugs in a circus. It's a really nice way to speak about your adult children. That's awesome. I wonder who raised them to be a VW bug that's broken down in a circus. Because they didn't raise themselves, right? How did they become these people that you dislike so much? Could it be that you always dislike them? Snarky sparky.
So some of you parents that haven't experienced it, but are aware of it, probably need to start having discussions with your kids now, so that they understand kind of where you stand with it.
Is she saying that all parents should have conversations with their children about estrangement to let them know what their rules are around that? Should they go no contact with them, or what their feelings are around that? I think that's what she's saying. Is that not bizarre? What do you think? Please drop a comment, because I'm like, what? It feels like it's going to go in a word salad direction. Ooh, salad. I'm hungry. It's lunchtime.
You can have that difficult discussion. It's better to have it now than, down the road when you're in the middle of it. But
it's better to have a discussion about estrangement than down the road when you're in the middle of it. Well, down the road, if you're in the middle of an estrangement, you're not having a conversation. Maybe I'm okay.
It's kind of like when we were growing up, we would have these discussions with our parents where they would try to guide and direct and say, don't hang out with the wrong crowds. Don't lie, don't steal. Some of those lessons.
I'm the wrong crowd. Woo! I mean, I'm an estranged adult child of over 30 years. Don't hang out with me because you might get an idea to become estranged. That's what I heard. What'd you hear? And fun fact, I was an estranged parent for less than 3 years on and off with my eldest daughter, who I had when I was 17. It was my fault that we were estranged because I'm the mama. And we've been in a very solid relationship for over 20 years. We worked that through. She calls me for parenting advice. If you've been with me for a while, you've heard me tell this exactly the same way for a while. That's what it is. That's what happened. So yeah. Don't hang out with me. You might, it's contagious.
I know that discussion's probably not easy, but it is necessary. It kind of opens up the communication as to, how they feel about it, how you feel about it. I don't think it's going away, but it's a great opportunity for that to be discussed, and addressed.
You have just stated you are voluntarily estranged. You discarded your children. Why do you care? Your children didn't do it to you. Is there a conversation that you should have had with them? If you don't behave and you try to make me jump through hoops, I'm going to discard you? Is that what it would? Is this about threatening your children so when they grow up, they know they can't do that? Disempowering them from the ability to walk away from a relationship with you no matter how you treat them? Is this like a further layer of making sure you manipulate them into place and brainwash them by addressing, we don't do this, only bad people do this? Please leave a comment because I'm literally confused right now. I don't know where, and I took these in sequence, so I don't know if she's responding to a comment or, which speaks a lot about her and her lack of ability to organize her thoughts. And that's not a shot because that's not my exception with her. My exception with her is calling her adult children worthless pieces of shit that she doesn't want a relationship with anyway. You can think and feel anything that you want, but as a parent, to say that out loud, she doesn't even have a clue what a nasty reflection that is on her. And I hope that everybody out there has compassion for children who are raised underneath something like that. Those kinds of words could fall out of my mother's mouth very easily. Fortunately, they wouldn't land anywhere.
Before it does become a problem. And some of you moms probably can't do that because you've already estranged your parents, kind of painted yourself into a corner because if you open that discussion, then you're going to have to explain to your children why you estranged from your parents. And
you're going to have open and honest communication. The way that she just said that, she doesn't have a concept of what communication actually entails when you're, like when you're raising your children. Talking to them about life and things like that. Like, I really wonder what her parents talked to her about because she said something about that earlier. To my estranged adult children out there who are raising children, Your children are not automatically going to estrange from you because you were estranged from your parents. Let me just take that fear out of the room right now. This is one of those manipulations that estranged parents like to use to scare tactic. It's a scare tactic, fear mongering, because our fear is, if we don't model healthy relationships, our children are going to step away from us just the way that we had to with our parents. Like, we have a lot of fears about robbing them from the grandparent experience when the grandparents are the ones robbing them through their own behavior. We don't choose estrangement from healthy, loving, kind, good role model people. We don't choose that from those people. We choose it from the people that are the opposite of that, who are exposing our children to life lessons about toxicity and what love doesn't look like. And I recognized the other day, I was making a video, and I realized that I feel really badly for exposing, I always knew that I felt badly for this, exposing my eldest daughter to my mother in particular. My son was so young when I went no contact, like she was nothing to him anyway. And he was nothing to her, which was part of the problem. Like, she ignored him, she'd walk right by him and completely ignore him. But I recognized that my daughter got life lessons in her first 6 years of life that she would have never had to have. She learned guilt. She's told me this. She's in her early 40s now. She's told me that she learned to feel guilty because of the way that my mother treated her and not other people. So my mother treated her with priority, and my daughter would feel guilty for her little brother, for example, because she was getting such special things. She learned things about relationships that I had to undo, that, impacted her innocence. Her lightness, any way you cut it. Did she suffer lifelong as a result of that? No, however, I don't want to negate the statement I just made. It was unnecessary for her to be exposed to that toxicity. And I did that because I thought my mother was showing her love in a way that I wished I had that love. I didn't recognize, it took me a little while. She was 6 years old. And as far as hard conversations and things about estrangement, and, we don't talk about estrangement with our children unless there's something happening where they're witnessing it or being impacted by it. Why would you talk about an elephant that's not going to enter the room, going with her circus, her circus, painting of her adult children? It's kind of like, if cancer hasn't impacted your family, are you going to talk to children about the possibility of them getting cancer? And maybe that's like a wrong comparison. I'm hoping you get the point of what I'm saying. My children grew up with the knowledge that my mother was somebody who hurt me in my childhood, that mommy is okay now, and that she wasn't a emotionally healthy person to be around. It was minimized in the way that I didn't want my children to feel bad for me emotionally. I didn't want them to worry about protecting my feelings because that would mean they couldn't ask questions. That's what I was concerned about. And my ex-husband, who, by the way, has a degree in psychology, which was very helpful in these moments. And we always had open communication around all topics, in general, family topics being on that list. And if you're an estranged parent, you need to talk to your kids when they ask you questions about their lineage, about your relationships and things like that, and be open, honest, and age appropriate. That's it. That's all. It's going to come up. Why? Well, they see other kids have grandparents. They see other kids. It's natural for them to go, do you have a mommy? When they're really, really little. These topics are going to come up. And that's okay. We can use it as a way to form open communication. We can use it as a way we can talk about hard and painful things, and everybody is okay in the room, and the world didn't stop spinning. There's so many things that can be like good experiences out of something that you couldn't do anything about. It's not like if I could have made my mother into a person who jumped through the hoops, respected my boundaries, and treated my children with love and kindness and respect, and was a good role model, I wouldn't be estranged. I went off on a tangent. I hope that wasn't word salad. Kidding. Sorry. Oh, wait, there's more. I think she's about at the end.
I hope it's for good reason. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of in the spotlight, explaining to your children why you estranged from your parent. It's kind of a thin line you walk.
So that just cut off there. It's kind of a thin line you walk, and that's where, what? Why? Why is it a thin line? I was not to my children what my parent was to me. There's no thin line. I was safe. I am safe, loving, kind. I have the ability to respect boundaries, and I do. Where's the thin line? This well, it speaks to, snarky sparky, it speaks to the lack of accountability and self-awareness. Your children are going to estrange from you because they merely don't like you. Not they're going to estrange from you if you act like me. Like if I behave like my mother, my kids would probably estrange from me. I would hope so. I would hope they would know better than to stay in a relationship with someone who hurts them. I hope that, and I know we have, because the proof is in the pudding. My kids are between the ages of 33 and 42 now, and I have 2 grandchildren, one in university. They do know not to stay in relationships where they're being harmed. Could that be because I didn't? What about that side of the coin? I think I'll leave that here. Yeah. What do you think? Drop a comment in the comment section. If you want more healing tips, journal prompts, videos that are personalized to where you are in your healing, something that you need, questions that you have, you can join the membership section. I have YouTube has now given me a little bit of a membership section where I can provide some more personal connection. So you can join there, and if not, and you're just subscribed, there is no just. I value you being here. You will get all this content always. I do the journal prompts and other types of content in the member section. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit more cozy and connected, and it also, because of the fact that I don't hand over anything that I do to a moderator, I have a manager on the channel who does this SEO and posts the videos, times them out, does the technical stuff kind of thing, names some of the videos, a lot of them actually, that's part of the SEO. But the comments that I respond to, the videos that I make, all of that, that's me. I am my admin. So having a membership program allows me to, well, yes, get compensated and also prioritize. So I do that first, and then I do subscribers, all the rest of us together next. And then, yeah, here we are. So anyway, if you see somebody that you want me to feature, or you have a question, member or not, please put it in the comment section. You don't have to be a member to get addressed or anything like that. I don't want it to feel like that. It's just a way of me connecting at a different level with some other content that not everybody is seeking. So that helps me to be able to kind of target what you're looking for based on where you are. If you're in the member program, I know you're probably looking for the journal prompts and something a little bit more therapeutic in that way. And if you're a subscriber, you're probably looking for a bit more generalized content and things like this. So anyway, I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for being here, and have a great day.
So I'm just sitting here thinking about my situation with my estranged kids that I estranged, by the way. But I see a lot of these estranged adult children asking their parents to jump through hoops for them, as if somehow being in their life is an Academy Award movie, when a lot of us estranged parents are kind of sitting back and starting to kind of analyze what exactly we want in their lives. Because some of y'all are living in a broken down VW bug in a 3-ring circus with absolutely no virtues, no morals. And I think a lot of us are kind of stepping back, puzzled as to why we got caught up in wanting to be in your lives. I also wanted to jump back on and talk about some of the things that other estranged parents and I have spoken on, and that is, we say this whole parental estrangement thing is a trend. And I completely agree. So some of you parents that haven't experienced it, but are aware of it, probably need to start having discussions with your kids now, so that they understand kind of where you stand with it, and you can have that difficult discussion. It's better to have it now than, down the road when you're in the middle of it. But, it's kind of like when we were growing up, we would have these discussions with our parents where they would try to guide and direct and say, don't hang out with the wrong crowds. Don't lie, don't steal, some of those lessons. And I know that discussion's probably not easy, but, it is necessary. It kind of opens up the communication as to, how they feel about it, how you feel about it. I don't think it's going away, but it's a great opportunity for that to be discussed, and addressed before it does become a problem. And some of you moms probably can't do that because you've already estranged your parents, kind of painted yourself into a corner, because if you open that discussion, then you're going to have to explain to your children why you estranged from your parents. And I hope it's for good reason. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of in the spotlight explaining to your children why you estranged from your parent. It's kind of a thin line you walk.